Hey guys, the world around us is full of amazing constructions that seem to come from the future, but there are also projects that make us wonder, why trust a fool with a pencil? From pointless shopping malls to strange airplanes and other confusing constructions. Today's big projects are sometimes just for show. However, not all technology is suitable for all. Check out the 10 most useless mega projects in the world in this video. Number 1. Teb Transit Elevator Bus. If you are someone who dislikes public transportation and feels uncomfortable when having to squeeze into a small space with a crowd, then perhaps you will change your mind if you know about the transportation innovation introduced by China in 2010, Teb Elevated Bus. The system can carry 1,200 passengers, traveling along a fixed route at speeds of 40 miles per hour. What makes it special is that the body of the bus is raised about 2 meters above the ground, allowing it to fly over the traffic below, reducing congestion by up to 30%. This is impressive, and the cost of a 40-kilometer route is only about $7.4 million, much cheaper than building a subway line. However, the main problem is the height of the bus. At just under 2 meters high, it will be blocked by large trucks or taller vehicles. In addition, changing lanes for cars under it is also difficult when waiting for the TEB to pass. Furthermore, although it is called a bus, it actually travels on a fixed track, so it is essentially a slow and inefficient tram. After testing in Xinhuangdao, where there was a 1,000-meter test track, the TEB failed to turn around and became a means of transportation without a future. The project was canceled in 2017, and the last prototype bus just sat in storage, doing nothing. What a pity for a promising idea. Number 2, Tu-104, the Soviet aircraft disaster. Flying has always been considered the safest way to fly. But if you've ever flown on a Soviet Tupolev Tu-104, you might think twice. The plane was produced from 1955 to 1960, and a total of 201 were built. However, during its service life, 16 were involved in fatal accidents, and another 37 were scrapped for being unsafe to fly. A total of 1,137 people died from the plane. What's more, the first factory to produce the Tu-104 didn't even have a canopy. This affected the quality of the plane, making it unstable in flight and prone to stalling at low speeds. Although the Soviet Union attempted to sell the plane to other countries, for up to $2 million each in 1960, it was clearly a huge failure in the aviation industry. The Tu-104 helped the Soviet Union begin to develop its civil aviation industry, but at a high price. Number 3, American Dream Meadowlands. American Dream turns into nightmare. I've always believed in the American Dream, but I'll never believe in American Dream Meadowlands. This is a giant shopping center in Rutherford, New Jersey that has been plagued by failures since its inception. It was originally planned to have an amusement park, an ice skating rink, a water park, a 16-story indoor ski resort, and more than 450 stores. All of this may sound impressive, but the $5 billion cost caused a lot of problems. Construction began in 2004, but was delayed due to funding shortages, and the mall didn't open until 2019. But nothing has gone smoothly. In 2021, a fire broke out on the ski resort, and a decorative plane crashed into the pool at the DreamWorks water park. Plus, many of the stores are still not operational, making the project a clear failure. Number 4, Marble Arch Mound, London's artistic disaster. One of the most bizarre projects on this list is the Marble Arch Mound in London. It's a 25-meter-high artificial hill that was built to revitalize central London after the pandemic. But in reality, it's not a real hill, but a steel-frame structure covered in fake grass and some real trees. The project cost a total of $7.5 million, but when it opened in July 2021, it was immediately closed due to negative feedback from visitors. The steel frame structure was visible, the dirt was uneven, and there was no promised cafe. After reopening for free in August, the structure was completely closed in January 2022. Not only was the project a waste of money, but it was also a disaster in project management. Number 5, NEOM, Saudi Arabia's Future City Project. NEOM is a massive urban development project in Saudi Arabia that aims to build a 106-mile-long city called The Line. While it's an ambitious project that promises to be green, car-free, and powered by renewable energy, it faces a number of serious problems. The cost of the project is expected to be between $1 to $1.5 trillion. But not only that, construction is expected to emit 1.8 gigatons of CO2, nearly 6 times the emissions of the entire United Kingdom. Additionally, members of the Huaytut tribe, the indigenous people of the area, are being forced to relocate and are facing terrorism charges if they refuse to move. The line project was cut from 106 miles to just 1.5 miles by April 2024, representing a major failure of an unrealistic plan. Number 6, the Lotus Riverside collapse. Buying a home for the first time is an emotional experience, but for those who bought apartments at the Lotus Riverside project in Shanghai, it was a disaster. On June 27, 2009, one of the 11-story buildings suddenly collapsed. Fortunately, no residents had moved in, but unfortunately, a worker who was getting tools inside the building was unable to escape in time when the building collapsed. The cause was that the construction of the south parking garage was being dug up while the excavated soil was being poured to the north. The massive pile of soil destabilized the soil structure and put too much pressure on the foundation, causing it to collapse. Although the remaining 10 buildings were unscathed, the incident caused heavy losses to the apartment owners, and the developers had to pay nearly $5 million in compensation and cleanup costs. This would go down as one of the most costly and memorable failures in the construction industry. Number 7, Costa Concordia, Maritime disaster. The Costa Concordia was a 114,000-ton, $570 million mega cruise ship whose journey ended tragically and expensively in 2012. While sailing near Tuscany, Italy, Captain Francesco Schettino made the critical mistake of steering the ship close to shore to perform a salute, violating his program route. Overconfident and reckless, he turned off the navigation system and steered the ship into dangerous waters, resulting in a collision with a reef. Despite efforts to save the ship, 34 people died. The cleanup, lifting, and dismantling of the ship took more than 2 years and cost a total of $2 billion, enough to buy nearly 4 new ships. The Costa Concordia became a painful reminder of the dangers of carelessness and complacency at sea. Number 8, the border wall, a broken promise. President Donald Trump's promise to build a permanent wall along the US-Mexico border has turned into a costly and ineffective failure. Originally estimated to cost between $8 billion and $12 billion, only 450 miles of wall have been built, less than half the original estimate. Of those, only 47 miles are brand new, with the rest being mostly reinforced sections of old wall. Furthermore, some sections of the wall were so poorly constructed that they are already showing signs of collapse. To date, the project has cost taxpayers $15 billion, and annual maintenance costs could reach $28 billion. Despite promises that Mexico would pay for the cost, it has yet to pay a penny. This is a costly disappointment, with American taxpayers paying for a wall that does not work as expected. Number 9, MJU nuclear power plant, a costly disaster. When I procrastinate, I probably only get about 15 minutes of work done before I get frustrated. But compared to the disaster at the MJU nuclear power plant in Japan, my lack of productivity is nothing. Since its approval in 1983, the plant has produced only 1 hour of electricity for decades. That's more time than it takes me to get ready in the morning. MJU was a rapid response, hoping to recycle spent nuclear fuel to create more energy. Instead, it was a horrendous chain of failures, with 14,000 defective components, many of which affected critical safety features. A fire in 1995 was even covered up by employees editing security footage. In 2010, a 3.3-ton fuel loading machine fell into the reactor, completely damaging it and making it impossible to extract. After the Fukushima disaster in 2011, MJU cost the government nearly $12 billion to no avail. The plant was finally officially shut down in 2016 and is expected to cost another $3.4 billion to dismantle. It was a costly lesson in how not to operate a nuclear power plant, with a total cost of $15 billion and 60 wasted years. Number 10, Forest City Project, Ghost City. Forest City, a $100 billion megacity, is currently abandoned and dubbed a ghost city in Malaysia. This project was announced in 2006, located in the Iskandar Special Zone, developed by China's Country Garden Group, and was expected to become a new Shenzhen, right next to Singapore. With a total area of up to 1,370 hectares, Forest City consists of 4 artificial islands, full of trees and integrated with a modern transportation system, aiming to become a green, smart city in the future. However, to date, the progress has only reached 15%. Only less than 1 artificial island has been completed, and there are about 15,000 residents compared to the target of 700,000 people. In fact, only about 500 people live here. Political factors contributed greatly to the failure when Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir banned foreigners from buying real estate in Forest City in 2018, making it difficult to attract investment. At the same time, ecological problems also emerged as the project destroyed coastal biodiversity and caused severe pollution, affecting the fishing area. Country Garden Group built artificial islands without allowing time for natural sedimentation, leading to cracks in the structures and causing further environmental problems, while Forest City officials refused to address them. In addition, real estate prices in Forest City were too high, beyond the purchasing power of local residents. With many difficulties and problems arising, Forest City has now become one of the most expensive failures in urban development, a ghost city with only scary plastic objects scattered everywhere. Which of these mega projects do you think is the most useless? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you are interested in learning more about other mega construction projects around the world, don't forget to subscribe to our Super Build channel.